One night I stood at the Shibuya crossing. The red and green lights changed again and again, and people moved like a river. All at once I saw a very bare truth. Life is only about 30,000 days. If you are over 30, more than 1/3 is gone. From then on I used the word tomorrow less, because tomorrow is the sweetest promise but also the most dangerous. What haunts me is not that time goes fast, but that it feels shorter and shorter. When we were kids, one summer felt as long as a year, but now 1 year passes like a season of a show. Science has a good answer. The brain measures time by the number of new experiences. The more we repeat, the more the brain compresses data, like compressing a photo. We lose detail and the sense of length. So I break the mold on purpose. Each month I learn one small thing, take a different route to the office, and talk with a stranger. Just by adding something new, time seems to stretch a little and memory holds on better. I also changed how I make promises to myself. We often have an illusion about a day. We take on too many things, but we judge a year too low. Instead of trying to stuff everything into today, I choose 3 priorities for the day and 3 priorities for the quarter. The rest I put on an avoid list like a no-go zone. It sounds strict, but it is like compound interest at a bank. Each small deposit put in the right place will grow over time. I have a test I use when I must choose the deathbed test. I picture myself at 90, looking back, what would make me smile in peace, 1 more hour at the office or a meal with family. That test makes priorities bright as daylight. At the same time, I clear noise. I turn off notifications, block sources of distraction, and ask to leave any meeting that has no reason. Time is too precious to pay for things that only look busy but do not create value. Relationships are like bank accounts. Each interaction is a deposit or a withdrawal. A check in text, a specific thank you, showing up on time, that is a deposit. Canceling at the last minute, reaching out only when you need help, that is a withdrawal. I used to think I had to give big gifts, then I saw that small and steady deposits last longer. And it is strange. The loose ties like old coworkers and event friends often open new chances. In the toughest projects, what I remember most is the feeling of suffering and joy together with PM, BA, and breasts. Sharing hard times ties us more tightly than any team building day. My career does not follow a ladder, but a climbing frame, a trellis, moving sideways, diagonally, even stepping back to learn new things. There was a time I chose a lower salary to join a harder team and learn new tech. In my late 20s and early 30s, optimizing for learning created more lottery tickets of chance than optimizing for pay. I call that stepping into the adjacent possible, not too far to be scary, but new enough to grow fast. Many times I put off one task, then I pulled up another thing to learn to ease the guilt. It turned out those procrastination projects became important side products, like when I played with automation on AWS, then led the whole team to cut infrastructure cost by a lot. Health is the multiplier of every variable. 8 sharp hours beat 12 dull hours. I once took sleep lightly until I saw that a sleep-deprived brain makes choices as bad as when drunk. One small tip is to tell morning me from evening me. Morning me makes easy promises, evening me has to do them. So I plan within my real limits and lock my commitment with the environment, set out my workout shirt, use an app to block social media during deep hours. When ideas run dry, I stand up and walk for 10 minutes. The body moves, thoughts clear, and micro moves 10 push-ups, 5 minutes of stretching. 1 flight of stairs, small but steady, and they add up to big change. The fastest way to learn is to teach. Each time I write a post to share or open a class for young people, I must understand to the root. Do not wait to be very good before you teach. When you still stumble, you still remember what is hard and you explain in a closer way. I also keep a few things bad on purpose. For example, I do not try to be an expert in every design tool, so my mind does not get locked. Limits are allies of creativity. Fewer choices make me choose faster and think deeper. And I learn to quit at the right time. Stopping a path that no longer feeds me is not failure, it is making room for a better choice. Emotions have a body clock. The first wave of anger or fear often lasts about 1.5 minutes. After that, I can choose to stay or to move on. In a crisis, the one who stays calm keeps trust. I learn strategic vulnerability. Saying the truth that I do not know, I am worried, I need help, at the right time and to the right person, often builds deeper trust than painting a perfect picture. Hard talks, if we avoid them, create emotional depth, with late fees that grow day by day. I set time for those talks early, go straight to the point, and do not blame. And I practice gratitude on purpose. Gratitude left unsaid is like money in a bank that you cannot withdraw. About money, the math is not only the balance but the freedom of time. When income rises, if we are not careful, the clock grows poor. A bigger house means more cleaning, more upkeep, and more moving time. I choose margin, spending below income to leave room for chances. That margin lets me take a few months off to study for a certificate or take on a fun project that is not very fat in pay. For objects I rent or buy just enough. For experiences I own, because experiences gain value over time and memory. At the end of the day, I count the true hourly wage, including the price paid in energy, relationships, and missed chances. Creativity is not lightning, it is like a faucet. When you turn it on, rusty water comes out first. Allow the bad drafts to come and clear the way. When I write music or code, I split 2 roles. While creating, I only create. I do not judge. While editing, I only edit, I do not add. I save the tries, even the failed ones. The brain needs to see progress to grow stronger. What makes a signature often lies at the crossing of many skills. A bit of music, a bit of history, a bit of cloud infrastructure. Mix them and you get a taste that is hard to copy. Energy is the root resource. Each quarter I make an energy report. Which work charges me, which work drains me. In the morning I eat simple and wear the same style to cut tiny choices and save bandwidth for hard tasks. For non-essential work I say clearly, I am not the best person for this. When you say it plainly, people ask less and I keep my energy for my strengths. Rest is not a luxury, it is how you multiply the value of time. Social capital is not collecting name cards, but 3 parts time, sharing, and shared experiences. I try to be a connector, to introduce two people who should know each other without asking for payback right away. A community is a garden. You cannot water it once and leave it. It lives on small and steady care. When I make choices, I always remind myself the map is not the territory. Every model simplifies reality. So I try to look one level more, second order and third order effects, and ask the inverse, who am I helping to create this problem? Knowledge is to know what understanding is to know what to use, when and why. Instead of collecting facts, I collect patterns, the rhythms that repeat over time. In the end, I see life as a portfolio, not only of money, but also of skills, relationships, experiences, and dreams. Plans have value, but small experiments are the engine. To make a big change, I change one small thing for 5 minutes each day. I also design my own metrics, not only revenue or title, but hours with family, new skills, and people I help. Each month I do a mirror session. What is on track? What needs a tweak to catch problems when they are still small? Time will pass no matter how we use it, but how we use it will decide whether it is rich or faint, long or short in memory. I choose new things to stretch time, choose less but better, choose steady over flashy, choose the trellis path instead of the straight ladder. Most of all, I choose to start today with one step small enough to do for sure and meaningful enough that tomorrow I will want to do it again.